Happy Friday. We have an 8-game slate to talk about in this video. Welcome, guys. My name is DK. I cover content for Draftkings and for player pop sites like Prize Picks, Underdog, and Parlay Play. Sponsor of the video, that would be Prize Picks. If you guys are not on Prize Picks, what are you doing? It is a player pop site. You're building out slips of player props. You can mix and match sports. You can whip to 25x your money. I've been on it for years, been making a lot of money and having a ton of fun on it. So if you guys are interested in Prize Picks, you can use the link down below for a $100 deposit match bonus, or you can use the code DKDFS. Again, link is down below. And if you guys look for more content, as always, for DFS or for prop stuff, you can check my Patreon linked in the description. The recap of tonight. Well, NFL, we hit a 10 or 8x slip. Dude, I needed one catch from Garrett Wilson on that final drive for a 23x, because it got bumped down because I had like correlation. I had like Simeon plus 4 pass catchers, so went to 23. It was 23x. I needed one catch from Garrett Wilson, and I'm just watching Trevor Simeon down by 17 check it down 29 straight times. And you want to tell me someone runs worse? So, yeah, I mean, frustrating, even though I still had an 8x day there for props for NFL. NBA props did not go well. I think my third time taking Jamal Murray under assists, and the third time they turns into Steve Nash and had like 8 assists in the first quarter. So that was fun. NBA DFS, I was looking at my lineup. I was like, I was looking at like what was going on. I was like, there's no way. Like, I had a bad night. Ended up cashing. I somehow got pushed out at the end. I lost $100 more. I don't even know how. I was winning 250, so I don't know if there's a stack correction or what. But yeah, I stacked the Bulls. Kobe White, once again, shot awful when I played him. Drummond got in massive foul trouble and then did not close. He was chalk, though. DeRozan was okay. I played low on Jaquez, was solid. Brogdon and Scoot, I really wanted to get these Portland guards once Simons got ruled out. Played them both. They both smashed. Now, Jamal Cain was not someone I was super excited about, but I needed a 3.5K forward. I knew he would be in the rotation, so I just went with it. Also, my lineup wasn't looking great, so I was like, you know what? Like, whatever. I'm just going to go with it. I need to make up ground, and it ended up working out. And then Moses Brown routed to my lineup, who I saw whatever an Ebo Baji is in the game in the second quarter. I was like, this is not good. This is not good. So somehow cash. I have no idea how, but we'll take it. And yeah, so let's recap everything. Let's talk about this 8-game slate. We'll start off with Brooklyn and Washington. So Brooklyn, you guys ready to run it back? Alt unders on Mikal, right? But no Ben Simmons, no Lonnie Walker. Dorian Finney-Smith is probable, and then Nick Claxton is also probable. So basically fully healthy team, expecting a normal starting lineup here. Really good matchup. Like the ceiling on Mikal Bridges in a competitive game. I would expect him to play mid to high 30s minutes. He's been up and down, but again, in a matchup against Washington, definitely a guy that has a massive ceiling. Dinwiddie at 7.1K hasn't been playing the best basketball of late, but still the minutes have been solid, even with Dennis Smith Jr. in. Nick Claxton, he's a frustrating roster, but like I'm expecting him to play high 20s minutes. The reason I say frustrating is like there's a lot of times where like the Nets just troll his minutes. It it happened like twice when I played him, where they just randomly closed the Trenton Watford over him. What are we doing, man? What are we doing here? Cam Thomas, always fine for tournaments, but his minutes are not as secure as all the guys we talked about. Indifferent on Cam Johnson at 5.7. I'm expecting high 20s minutes from him. Reasonable play. Dennis Smith Jr., I think, is decent off the bench. I would expect around 20 minutes from him. Aaron Sharp feels a little pricey, and then the 3-and-D guys and Royce and DFS are both kind of like filler plays. For Washington's one thing I'll note about Washington, we've been seeing with some of these bad teams of late, they've been kind of tightening up their rotation. We've seen it with the Pistons. I mentioned in the Patreon stream how it's like, all right, if you're building a lot of lineups, I would have one or out of a few, like stack up that Pistons Celtics game, because if it stays competitive, Pistons running super tight rotation. The game not only stayed competitive, went to overtime. I know at least one person did that in the Discord, had a very, very good night. But yeah, Washington, I've been noticing, at least in competitive games, the rotation has been running tighter rotation. Like last game turned into a blowout, but before that, again, all the main guys played a good amount in the first half. So Kuzma 8K, Poole 6.9, Ty 6.4, Gafford 6K, Denny 5.9. I think my favorite place point per dollar would probably be Gafford and Tyus. Tyus minutes have been way more secure of late, and reasonable price point for him. But yeah, I like the ceiling on Poole, like the ceiling on Kuzma. Denny's reasonable. Don't really know if I get to anyone else. This is like Washington benches is so gross. The guys like Kispert and Muscala and Daneo Gallinari. You got DeLon Wright. Like, it's just so gross. Koulibaly will obviously see rotation minutes as well, but he feels a little pricey. New York and Orlando. So New York pretty easy to talk about. Main guys are both decent plays, neither priorities in Randall and Brunson. You got RJ Barrett, 5.9, always fine for tournaments. Usually plays high 20s to low 30s minutes. Isaiah Hartenstein, I do like at 5.7. He's just playing big minutes right now. So, yeah, I think Hartenstein's a good play. Probably my favorite play in the Knicks. Josh Hart at 5K, I would expect him to play around 30 minutes as well. I think he looks pretty good. Quickly, 4.9. The minutes have been a little bit more secure of late, averaging about mid-20s over the last 5 games. Clearly, a guy that has a ceiling who's making a shot. So, Hartenstein, Hart, quickly, I think all look pretty good. Good DiVincenzo 4.7. I think I'd just rather get to those other guys that we just talked about. All right, the Magic. So, no Markelle Fultz. You got Gary Harris questionable, and you have Jonathan Isaac questionable. Not massive news, but we'll keep an eye on it. As far as the main guys go, I mean, Paolo and Franz are more secondary plays to me. With Suggs back, Cole Anthony's minutes are not as secure. Kind of hard to go there. Jalen Suggs himself, I think, is a decent option. I would expect him to play like high 20s minutes. You're getting like a 3-headed monster rotation at center, which is really gross, of Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Wagner, Goga Batadze. Don't think I can stomach that. That's it for Orlando. Let's move on to Toronto and Boston. So for Toronto, I have interest in all the main guys. Scotty Barnes, Siakam, OG, Schroeder, Pirtle, Gary Trent Jr. One thing to note is they switched up the starting lineup last game. They moved Gary Trent Jr. in the starting lineup, and they shifted Scotty Barnes to the point. So that does make Scotty look a little bit better. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind. Stuff in the stat sheet. Yeah, I like Scotty. Siakam's decent as well. I think I would prefer Scotty Barnes. But, yeah, ceiling's still there with Siakam. So the mid-range guys are all fine. And Gary Trent Jr. started last game. Played 26 minutes in that game. Was a blowout. Could have played a little bit more. Let's talk about Boston. So Boston, again, Jaylen Brown did not play in the front end of a back-to-back. Also, Tatum, questionable for tomorrow. So if both Tatum and Brown are out, then Boston's the team that I'm going to have a lot of exposure to. Porzingis plus the 2 guards look good. Horford to be solid. Hauser, Pritchard start looking better as well. So yeah, if they're both out, these Boston guys look good. If they're both in, I'm not going to get to anyone in Boston. If one of Tatum or Brown are out, then I think like the main guys look decent, but again, no priorities. All right, Sacramento and Atlanta. So this is a game I think has shoot-out potential written all over it. My boy Sabonis, 9.7K. I like him. I like De'Aaron Fox at 9.4. The Kings they're playing these guys huge minutes right now. So yeah, like Sabonis and Fox, both a good amount. No real strong takes on these wings. You got Keegan Murray at 6'5", Herter 5'5", Barnes 4'8". Malik Monk, the minutes have ticked down on him of late. I know there have been some blowouts, but still think it's in the range of outcomes that he plays like high 20s minutes. If he does, he could smash. I don't think he's going to be that popular. I'm not going to mess with the bench. I mean, I guess if I had to consider someone, it probably would be Trey Lyles. In a competitive game, I think he probably plays high teens minutes. Let's talk about Atlanta. So Atlanta, no DeAndre Hunter. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. Evan both at the top. But yeah, I like Trae, sub 10K in this matchup. He's playing huge minutes right now. 40, 41, and 40 minutes over the last 3 games. You got DeJounte Murray at 7.7, kind of just indifferent on him. Bogdanovich at 6.6, probably sees around 30 minutes. Feels priced about right, maybe a little overpriced. The 2 bigs, you got Capella at 6.5, and you got a Okongwu at 5.3. Both in play. I think it's a little bit easier to get to Okongwu since he's got the power forward eligibility. Jalen Johnson, in his first game back, played 29 minutes. I think if he pushes for 30 plus, he's someone that looks decent. Sadiq Bey, 6.1, should play big minutes. The 2 wings are both fine plays here. Milwaukee and Cleveland. So, yeah, Giannis is probable. Expect him to go. Yeah, I mean, I have interest in. I'm always gonna have interest in Giannis. Any slate he's on, 11K, massive ceiling. Dame sub 9K. Again, has a ceiling, but like neither are like must for me. Middleton at 6.7K, no longer on a minutes restriction. Played 30 plus minutes over the last 3 games. I think he looks like a pretty safe play there in the mid-range. Bobby Portis minutes have also ticked up a bit of late. We know he's a good point per minute guy. I like his upside. Brook Lopez, 5.6. Minutes have ticked down a little bit. Again, minutes have ticked down on him, ticked up a little bit on Portis. We'll see if that trend continues. I don't think I'm going to mess with like the Valley here with like Beasley or Connaughton or anyone like that. On the Cleveland side, so no Garland still, no Mobley. Donovan Mitchell is questionable. I believe he will play. He warmed up. He went through the warm-ups last time, so I was pretty surprised he got ruled out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Donovan Mitchell will play. If Donovan Mitchell does play and there's no limitations, then I like the upside at him quite a bit. If he misses, then we start looking at guys like Strus, Greg Porter Jr., Karis LeVert. They would all benefit in a big way if there is no Donovan Mitchell, those 3 guards. Yeah, if Donovan Mitchell's in, the other place here for Cleveland would be secondary plays, but Jared Allen has played very, very well of late. The issue is the price point, almost 8K. It's like, not ideal, but the man had 23 rebounds last game. I think that's it for Cleveland. So let's talk about Philadelphia and Houston. Once again, I like a lot here from Philadelphia. No Joel Embiid. Price point's still very fair in these Philly guys. They're running tight rotation. I have understood all the main Philly guys again. Maxey, 9K. Got massive foul trouble. Shot 2% from the field on Christmas Day. I think that will keep the ownership relatively low, but he has a super high ceiling. We haven't seen it yet without Embiid, but I know it's there. So yeah, I like the upside of Maxey quite a bit. His mid-range plays, I think, look pretty safe. Tobias, I think, looks good at 6.8. D'Anthony Melton, 6.1, should play 30-plus minutes. They both look good. Now, Oubre really struggled out of the gates. So they kind of limited his minutes, but the game before he played 40 minutes. Still a fair price point on him. Paul Reed had a massive game last game in 32 minutes, but when I played him on Christmas Day, you better believe he gets in massive foul trouble to punish me. But yeah, Paul Reed and Mo Bamba, I'm expecting those guys to split the center position. I'm going to prefer Paul Reed, but Bamba still playable. And then Marcus Morris, 4K, played 22 minutes. Robert Covington did get dusted off last game. Played 11 minutes. Probably can't go there. You did see some Pat Beverly as well. He played 17 minutes. For Houston, good amount to like here too. No Jabari Smith and no Dylan Brooks. I'm expecting Houston to go with the starting lineup of Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Jayshawn Tate, Tari Eason, and Alfred Şengün. 2 main guys here, Şengün 8-4, VanVleet 7-9. Would assume both these guys play mid-30s minutes in a competitive game. Jalen Green 7-4. Don't love the price point on him. Think I'd rather get to Şengün or VanVleet at similar price point, but I do really like my boy Tari Eason. Played 25 minutes on the bench last game. Expect him to play more here without Jabari Smith. I'm expecting him to start. Yeah, I really like Tari Eason. Jayshawn Tate also expect to start. I think he plays mid-20s minutes. He's fine. But we do have to consider some of these other guys. Aaron Holiday, 4-6. I'm expecting him to play around 20 minutes off the bench. Got Cam Whitmore, I think we'll see rotation minutes. Maybe not enough for me to consider him. Jeff Green will be in the rotation as well. You're going to see a little bit of Amen Thompson as well. Let's talk about, we got 2 games left, Oklahoma City and Denver. So SGA 10.6. I mean, that's a massive ceiling. He's gone for 50 plus now in the last 5 games, playing big minutes. Yeah, SGA looks good. You got shot at 7-7. Obviously, some foul concerns going up against Jokic, but still a guy with a pretty high ceiling. No real strong takes on Williams, Giddey, or Dort. The minutes have not been great on Giddey of late. I don't really know if I want to mess with the bench. It's always just such a headache. It's such a headache playing any of these Thunder bench guys, man, because Dagnall, you just never know what he's going to do with the rotations. If you want to take shots in these, be my guest, but you're a brave man if you do. On the Denver side, I don't think Aaron Gordon's going to be available. 21 stitches due to dog bites or whatever. That's wild. Get well soon, Aaron Gordon. The game tonight, they started Peyton Watson. If Peyton Watson starts again, 4.5K, going to make him look like a pretty good value play. As far as the top end guys go, Jokic, Jamal Murray, I've interested in both. Jamal Murray should play low 30s minutes. Jokic obviously has a massive ceiling. Michael Porter Jr., the price went up on him, but still would be playable option. KCP's too pricey for me. And then expect a little more run for guys like Brown and Justin Holiday without Aaron Gordon. But yeah, if Watson starts again, I think he'd be my preferred value play there for Denver. Finally, Charlotte and Phoenix. So we'll see about the availability of some of these Charlotte guys, but I think it's just going to be the same guys that were available tonight. If that is the case, then the 2 guys with the highest ceiling are going to be Rozier and Bridges, but obviously there's some blowout risk. Expecting Nick Richards and PJ Washington to split the center position. Brandon Miller came back, 6K. The value is just so gross in this team, too. Guys like Bryce McGowns and Cody Martin and Nick Smith Jr. and JT4. So disgusting. So, yeah, mainly just, I would say, the interest in the top of guys for Charlotte in GPPs. And finally, Phoenix. Well, I had the over rebounds plus assists for Nurkic last game, and he gets in massive foul trouble and plays 14 minutes. I mean, come on, man. 10 rebounds, too. More proof. I'm just adding to the proof. Not one human on planet Earth can run worse than me. Not possible. But yeah, KD, Booker. I like the matchup a lot for both. I wouldn't say either are must, but ownership will kind of play a factor there for Phoenix. If one of those guys is getting a ton of ownership, then I would prefer the other one in tournaments. Again, my boy Nurkic got massive foul trouble, but I would assume he would go back to normal like 30 minutes or so if the game stays competitive. Brad Beal also might play. If Beal's back, it would be a little bit tougher to get to guys like Booker and Durant, and would just take out the other value plays. Allen and Gordon completely out of play. Met 2, 4.5, had a huge game 2 games ago, but went back down to 6 minutes. Probably can't go there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. As always, if you do enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you guys all in the next one.